Hello, welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today I'm going to work on stage 76 of the Volkswagen T1 from Fan Home. And when you look at the instructions, it says you're also going to need the parts for 74 and 75, or you're going to need the parts from 74 and 75, and this part should be stored for later. So I just so happen to have issue 75 and issue 74 right here. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing it says to do is to get the parts from 74 and 75, and then to take the parts from 75 and start building the window. So let me get these out and I'll show you what the parts are. Okay, I got that open. Actually, I'm going to get all the parts out. This is the first window from the side of the van, if you don't count the driver and passenger side window. There are lots of little intricate pieces in this stage. Sorry about that. Had to pause for a second there. My puppy was going a little bit nuts out in the kitchen. I'm the only one who happens to be up right now. Now he's laying down behind me. So here is the door, and it's kind of interesting to me that I take it out. I'm not sure if it's going to show up on camera. There's a rub mark as soon as I take it out of the package. I'm sure that will just wipe off, but it's kind of interesting that there should be fingerprints or something like that on there. So I've got the screw box here and the oil should I need it. I don't think I will in this issue. This is a BP09, or these are BP09 screws. There are several metal pins, several hinge pieces, and some, I believe these are brand new type of screw, BD08. So let me get the label maker out. I'll get these screws put away, get all the pieces out, and we'll start on the door. Okay, I've got all the parts out. And there are 4 pins. 3 of them are all the same size, and 1 is longer. I'm going to show you on this one here. It says to look for the striations there. You can barely see them in the camera. The camera barely picks them up. But that is the end that has to go in last, because that end is what is going to actually grab the parts of the hinge. And there are many parts of the hinge. One side is to hold the window, the other side is to allow the window to open. So let me lay these out. This one here, okay, so this piece and these 2 pieces make the part of the hinge that stays against the van, or that is stationary. And then just make sure. No way. I could have an issue. Let me just pause for a minute here real quick. Cannot stress this enough. Always check the bags before you throw them away. Fortunately, I was able to find the bag. So now, let me see. I'm looking at the wrong part. Okay, so this part, and I know you can barely see these because they're black on black parts. I will put them together after I lay them out. And I will show you what the finished hinge look like. this is going to be a little bit of an effort. So you got these pieces, they're lined up in line. This part, this smaller end will go in here, the small part will go here, and the last part will go here. That's going to be the hinge or the window opening mechanism. So I'm going to take the 3 pins and the 6 parts, or 4 pins and 6 parts, and I will build the window or build the hinges, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so there's the first one done. You can see it swings pretty freely. I do have to say that I had an issue getting it in there. Had to resort to some spare parts I have, but it's put together. Let me go put the other one, more complicated one together, and I'll be right back. Okay, and there are both the hinges. This one was relatively simple except for an issue, and I'll explain that in a second. This one took a little bit more, and the key thing to remember is bumps go on the same side, except for with this longer piece, the bumps are going to point the opposite direction. And by bumps, I mean you can see the whole spot where the pin went into. So let me show you what was wrong with this. Is that one side of this one, the pin went in just fine. The other side it would not go into, so I was very fortunate to have a spare set, and I can, just looking at it, I can eyeball it and I can see it's just barely too small. So watch out for that. Make sure you test fit the pins in every one of them, just so that you don't run into that problem, or if you do, you can fix it before it becomes an issue. So now the next thing is to get out a glove, because those of you who've watched me for any amount of time know that even though I know I'm going to get fingerprints all over it while I'm doing other things, I do my best not to put fingerprints on the windows. They should be, let's see, yeah, see, this is very clean. I can see there's a rub mark on it. I will get that cleaned up once it's assembled. So you take this part here, and on the back you can see there are 2 spots for screws. You take the first hinge, and it is flat part, this flap part sticking in towards the window, and there's going to be 2 screws that go in there. They are BD09 screws. So let me get out 2 of the BD09s, and I'm going to be very gentle with this because I do not want to crack my window. So let me get this set on here. Matter of fact, the easiest way is probably going to be hold on to the other half of the hinge, put the screw through, and then very gingerly, so there it is, the issue that I'm expected I might have is lining these up, because there are no locator pins. And anybody who's watched me for any amount of time knows that I'm a big on locator pins. Watch my Space Shuttle launch tower videos if you don't believe me. That one's barely started, but it's not in the hinge. I'm going to go back in there. Okay, that one's started. Let me get the other one started. And like I said, being very, very ginger with this, because I do not want to screw up my window. So those are both started. Gently, ever so gently, going back and forth between the screws, tightening it down till it's firm. That's not quite there. That one should be good. Still quite a bit of wiggle, and I can see over by looking at it from the edge. I doubt you're going to see it in the camera. That one's good. That one's good. And so there's the first hinge on the window. We go ahead and take care of the second hinge. I'm just looking at, it's going to be very important that these are on there correctly. The picture leaves a little bit to be desired, but it looks like it should go on there like this. Let me see. Yes, it should go on there. Like I said earlier, with the bumps. Bump side up on most of the parts for this one to fit on there. And that goes on with 2 more BD09 screws. You might be able to do this without a whole lot of fiddling with it because I've got more pieces to hold the part in place. Maybe. So let me try this a little bit different tack on this. Ever so gently get the first one started. Get the second one started, then I will take it and tighten the windows completely. Or tighten the screws, sorry, not the windows. Okay, so that, sorry, has the hinge in place, or hinges. Now it says to take the window, or the door, set it in here, coming from the outside. You're gonna set it in here with this hinge part right here, so that what you're gonna end up with, sorry, I'm moving away from the camera. What you're going to end up with it's going to be right there like that. Actually, I got to do a little bit of jockeying with it. Of course, it would. Hang on. It would help if I'd have put the hinge on correctly. So let me correct that, and I'll be right back. Okay, after re-looking the pictures, I had both hinges on backwards. This one is supposed to go into the window so that it will, when it closes up on itself, it'll hold the window in place. And this one is supposed to go across the window. I had it sticking straight up. This one is now pointing into the window. It looks crooked. I may have to loosen it up and fix that. But now I should be able to install it. So let me slide this back in here like this. And this time, it actually slides in there the way it's supposed to. And this second one is actually going to install onto the plastic interior. So now that that's in place, secure it with 2 BD08 screws. And it's odd the way that never have really gotten to where I understand their labeling, because it says 2 BD08s, but they're going into metal instead of plastic. Just, yeah, okay. So let me go ahead and open this oil. They're going into metal, and the BDs, well, the other BDs that I used, okay, never mind. I just reread it. It's BP09s, not BD09s. I've lost my mind. So let me go ahead and put this screw in here, get it started. Get the other one started. In case anybody's wondering, this is actually Sunday morning for me. I've knocked out a whole bunch of videos which will be published throughout the week, and I think that's the way I'm going to start doing it. It's a lot simpler for me, and it gives content for you. Let me try different screwdriver because that one's not wanting to go in. That's still up a hair, it looks like. Okay, that one's snug. Let's get this other one snug. Why do I have a feeling this thing is facing the wrong way yet again? Oh, no, it's not. Okay. Maybe. Something doesn't seem right on here. I see what it is. I have the small window piece, or the small hinge, correctly on there. Get the smaller screwdriver before I scratch the window. It's pointing in the right direction, but it's on upside down. I'll show you what I mean. And it's unfortunate. It's my eyes and the pictures. My eyes are not that good anymore, so I had it facing down with the bump towards the window. The bump has to be up. That way the latching mechanism will work. Before I had it sticking outside the window. So this is the second time that I've screwed this up. Look at me go. Let me get this back on here. And we will continue on. There's that one. There's that one. And see, that's the thing, is knowing how this window works is what's making sure that I understand. Because on the actual van, you could actually open the window all the way like that. So the way this is gonna work is it's going to attach inside, and I'll show you that shortly. It's going to attach inside. You're going to pop it open like that. When you want to close it, you're going to pop it back in, and this piece is going to latch back over and just hold it in place. So the only other thing left to do in stage 76, and actually you won't see that in this issue, you'll see it in the next issue, in stage 77, the hinge. But the only thing left to do is to just pop this in, and it actually looks like, yeah, BP09 screws. Some of these are just push fit. This one is not, and it is directional because that's the center pin in. The other two pins don't fit. Turn it around, throw it across the room. You see, turn it around, and now it fits like a champ. Go ahead and put the window back in. Close this hinge down so maybe it'll hold it in place. And let me get 3 BP09 screws to hold that piece of trim on there. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Get them all tightened down. You see, once I close the hinge down, it's actually holding the window in place. Get these tightened down. And that's it for this stage. So, hope you're enjoying this build. Like, subscribe, come on over to Hobby Time Modelers on Facebook and YouTube, see what we're doing. On Facebook and on all the YouTube videos, there is a link to our Discord so that you can be able to join in when we do our live streams. Other than that, have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I will see you on the next video.